Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news roundup of all the news concerning Everton relating to transfers and contract dealings and stuff, which we'll get into. So if we just dive straight in, and David Anderson from the Daily Mirror has claimed that Everton and Aston Villa are both favourites to sign Ben Mee, who has confirmed he will be leaving Burnley on a free this summer. So this is a similar situation to James Tarkowski, really. Obviously, both Burnley centre backs, very established in the Sean Dyche lineup almost over the last few years, and both, getting towards the end of their careers. Really, Ben Mee a bit more than Tarkowski. Ben Mee is 32 and Tarkowski is only 29, although he will be 30 towards the end of the year. And it's a similar situation, really, of course, in that they're both free transfers, probably demanding similar wages. And so, but purely based age-wise, I think they're both of similar abilities. I'd probably argue that Tarkowski is the more sensible signing, and we seem to be further down the line in trying to sign him. And there is a poll on the Toffee Blues that's been up for about an hour as I'm recording this, and 67% agree with me, saying that no, we wouldn't want to sign Ben Mee, and obviously it's in the subtext, but would prefer to sign someone like James Tarkowski. But that was about 1,200 so far. But if you're watching this within a few hours of the video going up, there's probably still time for you to have yours say in that poll. It'll be up for 24 hours. So if you completely disagree with me and think Ben Mee would be a much better signing, then feel free to go over there and voice your opinion on find out on the Toffee Blues Twitter. But moving on, and Paul Joyce, as said, probably this is very recent news as I'm recording this, and probably the biggest story today, I'd argue, and definitely the most controversial. It's going to divide a lot of opinion. But Jonjoe Kenny has been supposedly offered a 3-year deal amid interest from Germany and other Premier League clubs. Now, again, another poll has literally just gone up as I'm recording this. I've had my say, and a lot of people seem to agree. 84% have said no so far about whether this is a good deal or not, and I cannot see the logic behind this at all. I probably wouldn't have offered him a new deal at all. A lot of people are saying if you are going to offer him a new deal, just an extra year. I have no idea the logic behind offering him a 3-year deal, because I just don't see him improving enough in those 3 years to be anywhere near where we need to be at. He's getting on now. Like, I think a lot of people view him as quite young. He's like 25 odd now. Jonjoe Kenny. He's been in and around the first team for a long time now. You're going back to Ronald Koeman days, I think, was when he was like first appearing in an Everton shirt. And I think it would be time to cut ties now. But Lampard does seem to like him a lot. I don't know if it's because of his versatility, I suppose. Obviously, he filled in at left back a bit last season, did okay. But ability-wise, I don't see that. And it suggests to me we're not going to be signing a new right back this summer. Because obviously, you've got Coleman, Kenny, and still Patterson to come back from injuries. So that's 3 options. No, I think you could argue none of them are really up to scratch, which concerns me a little bit. It's got to be said. So obviously, it's not been confirmed yet. It's Paul Joyce, which is a pretty reputable source, but I'm hoping that that's not true. But like I said, it doesn't look likely, which is frustrating. But Paul Joyce has also said that we are aiming. One of our main aims this summer is to try and bolster our midfield, which I don't think will come as a surprise to anybody. Obviously, Van der Beek will be leaving. One would hope Gomez and Delph. Delph, obviously, contract expiring. Doesn't seem to be any hint of us offering him a new deal. So he'll almost certainly be off. And I'd imagine we'll be looking to try and shift on Andre Gomez as well. Lampard doesn't appear to have taken to him too much. I think we've needed a holding midfielder for a long time now. It wasn't anything that was addressed last season. So hopefully that'll be a position we're looking to bring in, and maybe also someone a bit more creative. I don't know if Dele Alli is going to be given a lot more responsibility next season. It remains to be seen. But according to Paul Joyce, we are looking to bolster our midfield, but it does kind of depend on any funds raised from either Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin leaving. obviously those two have both been gaining a lot of traction the last few days. Fabrizio Romano seems to think Richarlison is definitely after a move, as evidenced by him changing agents in April, where and with what he said in the interview with before the Brazil game a few days ago, it does seem he has let Everton know what he wants, and whether that is to leave or whether that is he needs to see vast improvements made to the squad. If he's to give it another year, who knows? Obviously, it was quite ambiguous what he said. Out of respect for us, I think it was. But it does seem to me that because a lot of speculation now seems to be that Calvert-Lewin, we're more prioritised or focused even on keeping older Calvert-Lewin, that we have kind of accepted that we're going to have to sell Richarlison, or maybe we've accepted that maybe there's more money in selling Richarlison or more options out there. After there's no denying he's probably higher in the market right now based on the season he's just had compared to Calvert-Lewin, who's obviously struggled with injuries and form at times. So yeah, I think we've all kind of come to terms with the fact that at least one of them would have to go this summer. I think a lot of people would probably. I mean, I for one would definitely rather see Calvert-Lewin go than Richarlison if one of them had to go. But we've got to be, I guess, the financial situation we find ourselves in. We've got to be reasonable and realistic. And so yeah, it does appear to be at this current time that it will be Richarlison who leaves this summer. And I guess hopefully, if we can invest that money well. And ideally, if he goes abroad rather than to another Premier League club, then maybe it's a move we can benefit from. But it's quite hard to see it in that way at the moment, as someone who loves Richarlison probably more than any Everton player in my lifetime. So yeah, that remains to be seen. But moving on, a couple of other players we are supposedly linked with, although I'm not entirely sure how much ground there is in either of these two players, neither of which I can claim to have heard of before. But there are sources in Turkey that seem to think that we have made a bid for Fenerbahce centre-back Kim Min-jae, 25-year-old from South Korea. Can't claim to know anything at all really about him, but seems quite tall, seems to have had quite a good year in Turkey. So, and also appears to have a lot of interest from Tottenham. So I think it's more likely that we'll end up going for a more experienced head, someone who knows the Premier League more well in Tarkowski, who obviously doesn't command a fee, whereas Kim Min-jae would do. But I don't know. We'll see over the next few days if any more reputable sources pick up on this Kim Min-jae speculation, because it may end up being that we sign multiple centre-backs this summer. With obviously, it looks like Yo Mina is going to be going out the door, and potentially Michael Keane might be leaving as well. It remains to be seen. But yeah, we'll definitely see any progress on that story. And finally, 20-year-old Stade Rennais left back Adrian Truffet has given an interview saying that he is flattered by reported Everton interest in him. Again, I haven't seen this name before. It doesn't seem, on paper the worst sort of signing. 20 years old, young, looking ahead to the future. But to me, I'm not sure how much legs there are to this one, because with Nkunku already coming through, he's just had a year in Belgium. He seems to be coming back as well. And obviously, Jonjoe Kenny is also left back cover. Of course, Mikalenko's first choice in that position. It would seem to be money that I don't think we have to spend on money on positions that aren't a priority, and I don't think a left back is a priority. So again, I'd have to see more different sources, more reputable sources picking up on this for me to give it any sort of weight at the moment. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those two names that have suddenly been plucked out of thin air. But yeah, that pretty much rounds it up for today, guys. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment giving your thoughts on some of the speculation links, particularly Ben Mee and Jonjoe Kenny. There's polls over on the Toffee Blues Twitter page. There's still plenty of time left on them, and they're both pretty much swung in one favour. So if you completely disagree with the way in which the majority have voted, then get over there and have your say over on the Toffee Blues Twitter page, which you can find in the description, along with the Toffee Blues store for any Everton merch you might want to buy. And yeah, that's all from me, guys. Subscribe for more Toffee Blues content, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.